What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So this is the weekly update for Prismatic Evolutions. This is going to be a long video. We have a lot of stuff to get into, so let's get it started. So we're first going to be going over pop reports. That's what I kind of like to do. I've been paying very closely attention to these, and I've kind of already said that it's getting very interesting with the pop reports. We do only have 888 cards graded so far with Prismatic Evolutions, but we have most of the evolutions, master balls, pokeballs, and everything like that getting graded. So there are more higher numbers of those, so we can kind of start looking at statistics a little bit here, just a little bit. I already know there's gonna be some people in the comments being like, oh, it's too early to look at these. Yes, I understand, but I'm just getting kind of I'm just kind of looking at it just to see what can happen, what can potentially happen, you know what I mean? I'm not being like, oh yeah, it's 100% gonna be this, so I kind of want to state that right now. So let's start looking through some of these master balls. It's getting very interesting. I can say right now, the master balls are definitely harder to grade than the SIRs, definitely harder to grade. So we can kind of go through some of these master balls. Like I said, some of these don't really have a lot of on them, but just for reference, all the way to the right hand side is going to be total number of these getting graded, and the second one is going to be 10s getting graded, or the 10s and the 9s, okay, on the third column. After that, we don't really care really too much with this. So Leafeon Master Ball, 0 PSA 10s. There's only been one card graded though so far, so you can't really go too much of that. Flareon, 1 PSA 9, same thing. Oh yeah, well, I mean the Leafeon was 1 PSA 9, yeah, 1 PSA 9. Slowpoke Master Ball, 3 PSA 9s. Vaporeon Master Ball, 1 PSA 9. Like I said, there's not that many to grade, but once you start getting down to the ones that have actually been graded a decent amount, then we kind of start getting to some interesting numbers here. So Glaceon Master Ball, PSA 10, 0 of them, 3 PSA 9s. You know what I mean? Jolteon Master Ball, 2 PSA 9s. Jolteon Pokeball, 1 PSA 9. 7 Espeon PSA 9 Espeons, and 1 PSA 10 Master Ball. You see what I'm saying? They're harder to grade. And another thing that I want to say here too, to kind of back up my point saying that these are harder to grade. Why do I say that? Because typically people that are sending these cards in right now, they could be newbies that are just sending these, but I feel like the people that are sending these in are the people that know how to grade. Why would you send these in early if you don't know how to grade? You know what I mean? Like that, you've been grading for a while, you already know how PSA works and everything like that. Like you've been grading multiple cards. So I feel like these people are the better people that are grading cards here. If that makes kind of sense here, that's just my opinion. So, well, like I said, I'm paying very closely attention to this. Look at the Sylveon, 1 PSA 10, 3 PSA 9s. Go down to Larvitar, 1 PSA 10, that's interesting. Groudon, there's like a PSA 7, that's crazy. Or PSA 8, I want Groudon Master Ball too. The Umbreon, so this is one that actually has some decent statistics so far, which is interesting. So we have 23 PSA 10s and 27 PSA 9s. So that's kind of where we kind of at. Like I said, I want to see more and more numbers of these. Like I said, over the next coming months, we'll really be able to tell how these cards are getting graded. So far, with most of these cards, that it's seeming like, at least the SARs that we've seen, has been like a 50% hit ratio with 10s. That's what it's seeming like, which is harder than other sets. So it's interesting, really interesting. But the Pokeballs are harder to grade. That's what I've heard from a lot of people. What's interesting here too is, look, when we go down to the Eevee, there's 15 PSA 9s, 2 PSA 10s, 2 PSA 10s. Out of 21 cards getting graded. You know what I mean? So that's very interesting. Well, like I said, every week I'm be looking at this every week. Let's see what some other cards are. Leafeon, 22 PSA 10s, 28 9s, and this is the SAR of it. Flareon, 14 PSA 10s, 21 PSA 9s, and let's see, Celeridge. This is the card that I want, a PSA 10. It's extremely expensive. These PSA 10s of all these cards are going for extreme amounts right now, extreme amounts. And we got Vaporeon PSA 10, 9 of them, 18 PSA 9s. Then Glaceon PSA 10s, we have 14 of them, and 22 PSA 9s. Jolteon SAR, we have 15 PSA 10s and 19 PSA 9s. When we go to the Espeon, we have 20 10s and 31 9s. When we go to the Sylveon had 31 10s, 44 9s. This is the one that we can kind of start getting a little bit of statistics on, just a little bit. This is the Umbreon SAR. So far, there's been 306 graded so far. Crazy. It's only been out for like, what, 2-3 weeks now? Wild. So we have 141 10s and 149 9s. So it's seeming like the SARs are being like 50% hit ratio with most of these so far. So it's interesting to see. Like I said, I'm going to be paying very close attention to this. Then we got the Eevee SAR. We have 11 PSA 10s and 17 PSA 9s. And this was another one that I was looking at. The Pikachu, we have 2 PSA 10s and 14 PSA 9s of the hyper rare gold one. The gold card seems really hard to grade here, which is interesting, but that's just, like I said, I'm just looking at it, just paying attention to it. So, oh, there's one more thing that I want to say before. I should have said earlier in this video, but if you're watching it to this, I guess, right? So by the time this video is up, the Pokemon Center should have already had the surprise box. I hope everybody was able to get it. Hope it went well. we'll see what happens. Let me know down in the comments if it went well. I'll be paying attention to that too. I'll be trying to get it myself. Also, this is what I like to look at every single week, is the value of this entire set. And last week I think it was around like 8,500 or 8,800, around that number, and it's at 8,100. So we do start seeing these cards kind of starting to come down in price, but most of these are kind of starting to just level off, as we'll start to see once we start to look at the cards. We're going to be going through a lot of cards here, so it's very interesting. Umbreon's still the top card, Espeon's number 2. All these cards have a good amount of value. All these cards are still above, which is interesting is, wait, let's see. I think there were 15 cards last week that was above $100. Let's see how many is this week. 5, 10, 15. Ooh, this is, the Sylveon's literally right there on the edge. Right there on the edge. So we still have 15 cards. I guess you can call it 16, right? With the Sylveon, like 10 cents more. You know what I mean? It feels like a couple dollars under that. So we do have still 16 cards, or 15 if you want to be very, very specific with it, that are above the $100 mark. So it seems like the cards are still staying above that $100 mark, which is crazy, honestly. Just wild to see. But let's start going through some products and see what's going on. So the first product we're going to go through is the ETB. The ETB seems very interesting because if whenever you looked at my live stream, we were kind of talking about this too, is this box kind of ended at not even below $100. It didn't even stop going. Right when it hit that $101 mark, people were buying it up like crazy. Like, as you see, because the last couple of days of it was kind of going slow. They're only like 200 getting sold. Next thing you know, once it hit right below that, right above that $100 mark, 368 got sold. It kept getting like, it was like 500 or 600 in 2 days that this product got sold once it hit that low mark of 101, and ever since then it's just been going up and up and up. It's crazy to see. Now it's at like $112. So like I said, this is going to be something I'm paying attention to, the ETBs. I do have a lot of these ETBs, so you know, I'm paying attention to it. So let's go up to the next, the packs. The packs seems they're kind of coming down in price, which makes sense because there's a lot more products coming out. We do have a lot of products coming out literally today that I'm posting this video up. We have the surprise box coming out and the mini tins, and then we did get, if you watched my video yesterday, we are going to be getting we've had a little bit of sneak peeks of the super premium collection. There's 15 packs in there, so I would assume these packs, if I have to say a point where I think these packs are going to level off to, I would have to say maybe around $8 a piece. We'll have to see. Another thing too that I want to say is probably this ETB wise being so much is because the promo card in that ETB is around that $15 to $20 mark, which is crazy to see, like I said. But the promo card in here is $20, $15 to $20, so it's giving them that premium of the ETB, which makes sense. So let's go into the next product. This product comes out today, officially today. Congratulations, release day. Woo! I'm recording this before release day, so you know it's going to say pre-sale here, but this is very interesting to see too. I'm not saying that for a lot of things, but why am I saying that? Well, I kind of went over it yesterday in one of my videos, or the day before that, is because this product, the Umbreon, at least as of right now, the Umbreon promo in here is going for $150 raw. $150. The rest of the promos are kind of staying around that $20 to $30 mark. Some of them are going for $40. I think the SBN was going for like $50 or something like that. So it did have a higher premium on it, but that's just because it's SBN. The Umbreon SBN seems like it's the two more popular cards in the set, which makes sense. So we'll really have to see how this levels out at. I feel like this product is going to be maybe around that. I should have made a whole video about this too, but Walmart was selling these for like $40. Crazy to see that too. But like I said, this product is one of the ones, we'll probably see this calm down in the next couple months. I can see this product ending up maybe around that, I want to say $60, $50 mark. I feel like it's starting to get to a comfortable price. $75 on a secondary market isn't crazy. Like I said, I know people are going to be like, oh my gosh, this is too expensive. Yes, I understand, but you have to understand what's in here and the values in here. We do have 4 packs and a random promo card, and the potential for a Umbreon promo card, which holds a lot of value right now. So we'll see how that really plays out. Like I said, I'm paying attention to that. Now let's go into the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer Box. The Pokemon Elite Trainer Box has been doing the same thing. It kind of just went down. Everybody sold them out, which makes sense because there is no more getting released. So pay attention to that. But we'll have to see if this kind of comes up. So today that I recorded this, or that I'm posting this video, this, if it did come up, it should be today. Maybe potentially at 10 o'clock. Let's hope so. I know a lot of people are going to be paying attention to this, like myself. So we'll have to see how that really goes. But it does seem like it's coming up in value. It did hit like the low. It didn't even go below 250. It seems like the lowest it hit was like 251 that day. About 26 of them up. The next thing you know, it's just been steadily going up since there, and it's at 276 now. I can see this consistently going up. Like I said, this ETB will eventually be like $500. I feel like. Like I said, down the road. Am I buying any? No, I don't. I already have like, what is it, like 14 of these. So I feel comfortable with what I have. But we'll have to see how this really plays out. Now let's go on to the next product. The next product we are going to be looking at, and I'm pretty sure it's a binder. Yeah, the binder. This binder is falling like down like crazy, but it's doing the same thing as the other products for the most part. Well, it's kind of staying stagnant. The binder itself is selling for, I think, like $15, which is crazy to see that. But it does come with 4 packs in it, or does it come with 5? Well, it comes with 5 packs. The one thing about the binder too is when you go to 151 and compare the binders on 151, I think it's like $115 or something like that. Crazy. So maybe down the line these binders will hold a premium. We'll have to see what happens. I like the binder. I opened myself on live. Beautiful thing. I love the binder, honestly, my personal stuff. But it's just sitting around like that $70 mark, 60. Well, it's about $60 mark, which ain't bad. It's honestly not that bad, which is crazy because the surprise box is around that $75 mark. But that will probably drop down in price too. But we'll have to see what happens. This is the binder. Like I said, I like it. I have a lot of these. I have like 30 of these. The mini tins, these come out today as well. This is a product that I want to get myself. I want to get me a mini tin display if I can find one. I want to find it for sealed. Like I said, we'll have to see how this goes. But this is dropped down in price like crazy. It was sitting about $260 per free market. Now we're seeing tomorrow we'll probably see this come around. I would say about $20 range maybe, because it does have 2 packs in it. The 2 packs do go for about $10 a piece, like we were seeing. So I can see this product going around that $200 mark, because there is, I think, 8. It's only 8 in here. That's crazy. So there's a higher premium on here. Like I said, I want to seal one of these. I've talked about it before, but we'll have to see what happens. But let's go on to the next one. I think this is the Umbreon. Is it? Are we starting to get to the cards? No, we're not. We saw the tech sticker collections. The tech sticker collection is selling for. The interesting thing about these is these things are selling for, are starting to go up in price too. As we can see, they kind of. It seems like everything got down to like that dollar mark or something like that, like 101, 251 or something like that, and after that just shot up. Like look at these. This was the tech sticker got down to like 31.50, and that look at it now, it's like at $37. These are starting to go up, but there is no product on the market. What does it mean for these to really go up? Once we start getting more product, we will probably have these kind of slow down a little bit. We'll have to see what happens. Same thing with this one. Oh, this one got under $30. Got that 29, 38 mark, and next thing you know, it's at like $33 now. We can figure out which ones are kind of the more popular Pokemon on here, why they're holding some more of a premium. Let's go to the Leafeon. Leafeon's doing the exact same. It seems like everything crashed down in price, and next thing you know, it's just starting to come up slowly. But we see this Leafeon, it was sitting around that low of like $259, $57. Then look at it now, it's sitting for like the $32 mark. The best one out of these, I feel like personally, is the Sylveon, of course. I think I only have like one of these, which sucks, but it's okay. It's okay. But let's get to the number 1 card of this set, which is the Umbreon SAR. This is the biggest chase card here, which is very interesting. If we look at the prices on here, this card's just been going up and down, up and down, up and down. There's not been that many crazy sales on here, but as we can see, there's not that many listed. There's only 8 listed on TCG Player, which is crazy to see. That means this card is actually harder to pull. Either people are not listing it, or they're listing it other places. It could be one of those different factors. But this card is kind of sitting for around the same price. We can see it's really just been going up and down, up and down. When it was released, it was $653, went down to $1520. Then that lowest it got down to was $1550 or $1505. Now it's sitting back for that $1590. So this card's just been going up and down, up and down. If we look at the list on here, the lowest listed one is $1650. But once you go down to the start sellers, they're starting to $1749, $1799, $1850, $21. Oh my goodness gracious. There's just not that many people that have this card, it seems like. So we'll have to see what happens. This is the second biggest card that I feel like personally, but isn't the biggest card, is the Master Ball Umbreon. Umbreon Master Ball, I feel like this is kind of undervalued a little bit, it seems like. Why do I say that? Because when we were looking at the pop reports, but this is just one of them. I feel like the other Master Balls are kind of undervalued too. We'll start to go along and see the Master Balls and see what they are priced at. But let's go to the next card. But the Master Ball, this Umbreon Master Ball is sitting for about that $250 mark, which is not a crazy price, I guess. I don't know. I want to get this card. Beautiful. Like I said, the Master Balls in this set are amazing in my personal opinion. But let's go on to the next card. It is the Espeon. This is the number 2 most expensive card in this set. Which is interesting, is because this card just was going up in price. We said it was at that 326 mark, 323. It just kept going up. Around release day, it was sitting at that 316. Now we're seeing it go for about $400, which is wild, like I said. But if we go down to some of the listings, when we start getting down to some of these, we starting to see them selling for like $400, $430, $450, around that price. Crazy to see this card. Some of these cards are expensive in this set, extremely expensive, but that's why this set holds a big premium. We see the Master Ball Espeon sitting for about $65. Some of these are really cheap. I'm thinking about picking up some of these, me personally, but you can see there's only been 2 sold, so you can't really go based off of that. Once we start to get more sales of the Master Balls on PSAs, I think would be better. And once we start to get more of the hit rate for PSA 10s on the Master Balls, we will kind of really see how this set plays out and see what these prices will see. I can see these going up, the Master Balls. I can see every single one of these Master Balls at least being $100, at least minimum. That's just my opinion though, but we'll have to see how that goes, like I said. But you never know. If we go to the Vaporeon SAR, Vaporeon SAR is sitting around that $280 mark. This card crashed in price. and it's kind of just staying stagnant really. On release day it was like a 333 on release day, but now it's sitting for about the 306 mark, so it's kind of came down a little bit. And if we go down to the listed sellers that are actually listed on here, they're sitting about 281 for the lowest listed. So you know what I mean, like that, this card has gone down in price. We do know like the stronger evolutions have been holding a higher price. Look at the Master Ball. The Master Ball is holding for $69, but it's gone crashed in price. Like I said, we'll have to see how these really go. Dang, this card crashed in price like crazy. Near release day it was like $89, now it's down to like the $70 mark, so we can kind of see it. If we go down to listed, it's down to $68.99, just crazy. But like I said, I feel like all these Master Balls will hold a premium, especially once we get to the EV. The EV ones, like I said, we'll start to see the Master Ball. But the SAR is actually kind of going down up in price, but it seems like I said, there's not that many sales to go off of here. Basically, there's not a lot of these SAR getting sold because you can't really look at these like officially yet, but this is kind of the pricing that you go off of. More look at eBay probably to see what the more recent sales is, which we'll be getting into in here in a little bit. The EV SAR is around the 215 mark. Beautiful card in my opinion, beautiful card. But if we go down to near mint, it is sitting for about 225. The near mint of this card selling for, so it's a strong card. Doesn't seem like it's getting too much sales, so we can't really go off statistics here that much. This card right here, I feel like is undervalued in my opinion, and as we can see, it has been getting picked up a lot too. So you can kind of see, well, not really picked up a lot. I mean, you have a couple of sales here and there, but I feel like this card is going to be worth that $100 mark at least minimum. Why do I say that? If we went to the pop reports, remember we were looking at pop reports earlier, it was what was it, like 15 that was PSA 10s, or 15 that was graded, or 40 that was graded, and there was only like 2 that was a PSA 10. You know what I mean? Like the card is harder to grade, so it's gonna hold that. Yeah, like I said, 15 PSA 9s, 2 PSA 10s, and 3 PSA 8s. So we do hold that premium here, and I feel like it's going to be more of an expensive card down the road. I might start to pick up some of these Master Balls in my opinion, because I feel like they are undervalued right now, especially if they are harder to grade. They will hold a higher premium, but we'll have to see how that really plays out. Like I said, that's just my thinking right now. I probably want to start making this move soon if I'm going to make that move, because once these people realize that these are harder to grade, it is going to be these prices are going to go up very fast on them. But that's just my opinion. We'll have to see what happens. We have the Jolteon SAR sitting about 234. We don't really have too much price charting on here. We don't have that much data. The lowest listed on here is 230 mark, but that's light play. We go down to near mint, it's 261, so it is kind of a more expensive card. Go to the Master Ball, sitting for $63. It seems like most of the Master Balls are kind of sitting around the same price, which I said, it doesn't make sense to me, but we'll have to see. And we see most of these are getting picked up too, but it is falling down in price. It was sitting about that $87 mark on near release day, and now it's sitting about that $69 mark. Some of these Master Balls just makes more sense to me to pick up, but we'll have to see what happens. Leafeon sitting about 331. It's gone down in price too, but it's kind of starting to come back just a little bit. It dropped down to like 362, and it's kind of still on for that 370 mark, so it's getting a little bit more up there. And if we go down to more of the star sellers, we do have light play, but if we look at the near mint, lowest listing is 350. But if we go down to a starred listing, starred person, there's only, what is it, sitting for 369 for a starred person, so more trustworthy. So like I said, some of these cards are undervalued in my opinion. The Leafeon, I feel like it's more expensive, but the Master Balls are what I feel like is more undervalued here. We'll have to see what happens. Like I said, I'm gonna see this out and play this out and see what really happens here. Master Balls, all these Master Balls have gone down in price, and I feel like it's a big mistake people are doing right now, but that's just my opinion. We'll have to see what happens. We see the Master Ball selling for about $50 of the Leafeon. And if we go down here and see the listed here, near mint is $60. Some of these just make no sense to me, especially these are harder to grade, but we'll have to see what happens. Like I said, I don't know. We have the Flareon SAR, beautiful cards in this set, absolutely amazing cards too. If we go into the lowest listed, we don't have really much statistics to go off of, so we don't really know if this card is falling down. But if we go down to the near mint, the lowest listed is 389, so it has a big premium on it. You can't really go off of just the lightly played and stuff like that. You have to look at the near mint and make sure you're looking at the near mints. I don't know why I pulled up this Raging Bolt, but we'll look at the Raging Bolt. I guess this is one of the SARs. I kind of want to start going through the other SARs, because a lot of them are holding a lot of premium, to be honest with you. Like, they're holding more value than I thought they would. Like this Raging Bolt is above $130, which is crazy. You know what I mean? Like that. I thought Raging Bolt would be below $100. But this is a very playable card too, so I can see people having this in their deck, and I can see a lot of other reasons for this card being the price that it is. But let's go on to the Flareon Master Ball. That's what I meant to go off, because we went to Flareon SAR. This SAR is going for $43, which is wild. And we see this card just getting crashing down in price. As on release day, it's sitting for like $80. Now it's sitting for about $53. Dang! Oh my! I might have to go after some of these. $44 for a near mint Flareon. You know what I mean? Like, come on now. Like, you don't think that's a play? Like, I think that might be a play, personally. I don't mess with singles too much, but I kind of might want to like have $1,000 and just mess around, just throw it into PS Master Balls and see what's really happens, or just singles, should I say, just see what really happens, because singles I feel like is a fun game, but it's a very risky game as well. But I feel like the Master Balls are, at least the Master Balls, I feel like all across the board should be $100 in my opinion. So I might make that play, I might not. We'll have to really see. Like I said, I don't really mess with singles. If we go down the Glaceon's sitting around that 305 mark. If we go down the near mint, it is like that 305 mark. And if we even see a starred seller, it's probably sitting around the 375 mark. Like I see, let's see the first starred seller. What is it? About 355. So it is kind of still up there in price. All these are holding a good price. Oh my goodness, Glaceon Master Ball, $47. Wow, that's crazy. Near mint. Oh no, that was what's it called, lightly played. That makes sense. Well, near mint's still here for $47. Dang, this, you know what I mean? Like, come on now. Like, this seems like a very good play to me. But we'll have to see. If I start going to collecticons and stuff like that, I will probably start to look for these Master Balls, because the Master Balls under $50, like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, some of these seem like a good deal here. But if we start to go to some PSAs of the Prismatic Evolutions, we will start to see some of these are interesting. PSA 9 Umbreon selling for $1,800 on bids. This is a bid, so I would have to say that, but typically the bids now, they will actually follow through and people actually buy them. So like I said, we'll have to pay attention to that too. We don't really know that people paid for this, but I'm pretty sure with these bids, people paid for it. $1,800 for PSA 9. We did see the raw was going for about that $1,600 to $1,700 mark, so I guess it makes sense here. Sylveon selling about $455. PSA 9s are selling for a crazy price, but that's because the singles are selling for a crazy price. So it makes sense. This is EV promo from the booster, from the ETB. This is why the ETBs have such of a high premium, because the PSAs are selling for $228 of the PSA 10 EV. But if we look at the Pokemon Center stamp, which is crazy because this one literally sold the other day for I think like $1,500 for a PSA 10. So this thing's literally cut in half so far of the PSA 10 Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes. I can see this still going up. I can see this card being minimum $1,000. Why do I say that? Because there is no more Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes. There's only been a certain amount of them put out there so far. So we'll have to see how it goes. But if you see this, look, one of them sold for $752 on bids. But if we look right here, one of them sold for about $950 on best offer. You see what I'm saying? So that's just my opinion. We'll have to see how this really plays out. This was a bid, so that's why you gotta be careful with doing bids. That's why I've been trying to watch out doing bids. All these PSA 9s, it's very interesting seeing the PSA 9 selling for a high price, like I said, but most of the singles are selling for such a higher price. Dang, PSA 10 Espeon selling for $1,400, Gym Mint, Glaceon selling for $2,000, $4,000 for PSA 10 Umbreon SAR. Wild. Glaceon $1,900, Jolteon $1,000. What is it? This is just a Pokeball reverse, right? Or Master Ball reverse for $265. Wow, that's crazy. This is a regular Master Ball. Yeah, Master Ball for Espeon, $57. See, some of these cards are harder to grade. The Master Balls are harder to grade, in my opinion. As we can see of people listing these up and being able to sell these. Flareon selling for $1,000. PSA 9, Umbreon selling for $2,000. Bids on Pokemon Center exclusive, $900. Wow, that's crazy. Some of these cards are selling for a very high premium. But just kind of want to go through this. Let me know your thoughts on Prismatic Evolution so far. I like doing this weekly update, and y'all seem to like it too. So let me know what y'all think. What's kind of surprised you about Prismatic Evolution so far. Hope you enjoyed this video. See you on the next one. Peace.